Welcome to Startup and Slay, second annual digital series featuring Canada's diverse women and non-binary entrepreneurs. Startup and Slay is presented by How She Hustles, with proud sponsor CIBC in partnership with Rogers Sports and Media and Shopify. Our theme tonight is starting a business during COVID-19. Please welcome our inspiring guest speakers, Rachel Lee Rickards from Real Talk Candles and Sasha Senior from Bliss Skateboard Shop, and the founder of How She Hustles, your host tonight, Emily Mills.
Greetings, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Yes, my name is Emily Mills, but a lot of folks just call me Em. My pronouns are she and her, and I want to thank you so much for spending some time with us tonight. I'm super humbled that so many people decided to kick off the second annual Startup and Slay digital series with us tonight through my company, How She Hustles. So far, I think we're at about 500 people who have RSVP'd to join us over the next 4 weeks, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time. We hope to see you with us. And as you've heard, we're doing this series with incredible sponsors and partners, CIBC, Rogers Sports and Media, and Shopify. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you so much. There's an incredible, small but mighty army of creative folks who have also been behind this project. So thank you to my team. And we couldn't do this without 8 inspiring, diverse women and non-binary entrepreneurs who have bravely chosen to share their stories with us tonight. Now, tonight isn't just an average day on the calendar. As we know, it is an unprecedented time. We are living through a global pandemic. In many parts of the world, there continue to be huge conflicts over racial injustice and geopolitics. And while many of us are working virtually, some of us have little people, like I do, kids who are also learning online too. What a time to be alive. While so many of us feel isolated and divided, it's also a time, I think, a perfect time for us to feel united and for us to inspire each other. And so that's why we're here, really, to learn, to share, to support, to amplify underrepresented voices, to author a new narrative about small business in Canada, to accelerate and celebrate our success. That's why we're here. So welcome to Startup and Slay. Let's get started. So a few housekeeping items. We definitely want to make sure that everybody's prepped and ready. And by the way, shout out to everybody who's on the stream. I see you. Hey, everyone, thank you for joining on. We want you to tell your networks. Please make sure you spread the word tonight. The hashtag is Startup and Slay. You can share this link, no problem. We want to see how you can pass the word. Where our team is on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and of course on YouTube. There's a chat function on the side, so you can drop all your comments in. Hopefully you'll be able to engage with us in this space, and we look forward to chatting with you. There is also a separate video stream. So if you need ASL, American Sign Language, and you'd like to join us, we have specifically set up an additional stream, howshehustles.com/startup and slay stream. And we look forward to engaging with those audience members as well in our community. And we will have someone monitoring that feed. The videos will be archived on YouTube, so no worries if you need to bounce out and go do something else or pop back in later, we got you. This will definitely be available. We'll be posting it in a couple of days, and we'll make sure that you're aware when the stream is up. And of course, it is a time in the world where everybody and their mama is using technology. So if technology happens to give us a hard time tonight, just want to let you know, keep an eye on our socials. We'll make sure that you're updated on what's happening next. And of course, we have your emails if you RSVP'd, so we can follow up with you if anything major goes down. Finally, code of conduct. We already emailed it out, but basically it's pretty simple. Good vibes, good vibes, good vibes. If there's anything other than good vibes, you know, there's another place that you can be. So we just welcome that positive energy tonight. All right, so let's move on to what we should expect. We've got time together for about an hour. So that's my welcome. It's really important to do a land acknowledgement, so that will be next. We've got a couple messages from our sponsors and partners. We'll spend about 45 minutes chatting with our amazing speakers tonight. You'll have a chance to ask some questions, and definitely we will send you home with some resources, some links, and give you a sneak peek of next week. All right, so at this time, I would just like to take a minute just to reflect and share a land acknowledgement, the How She Hustles way. It's our responsibility as settlers in communities across Turtle Island to understand where we live and work, and that it's been the traditional territory of many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people. I'm greeting you from the place that we now call Toronto, which is the traditional territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Huron-Wendat people. Toronto is covered by Treaty 13. Google a bunch of this to make sure that you have a good foundation, and we can all do that work. Wherever you're logging on from, I encourage you to discover the nations and the treaties and the history that is part of the rich communities where you reside. I'd also like to acknowledge that there are a lot of displaced African peoples, Black people, my ancestors who were brought to Turtle Island, many of them forcibly, of course, and then there are others who have a proud, rich history in this country that goes way back. And I also want to take a minute to acknowledge the new people, the new settlers who are still coming to this land. I think it's important that we all understand our history and our place in this space. To me, land acknowledgements aren't just about acknowledging the space we occupy and share. It's also about acknowledging what we need to learn and unlearn, the history that we've received and this history that we still need to absorb as the world evolves and as our Indigenous peoples continue to fight for their rights in this country. We need to learn about the nations who are the original caretakers of this community, of our communities, and it's also about learning about how we can play a role in systemic change and make changes in our own lives to address historic wrongs that need to be made right. So I encourage us all to be active allies in reconciliation, and a land acknowledgement is just a small start, but there's so much work to be done, and I'm committed to doing it. I want to thank you for your attention, and now I'd like to turn our attention to a brief video message from CIBC. And I don't want to give this formal introduction. Let me just shout them out. The culture I come from, it's like clap them. We want to clap CIBC, all right? We want to clap them. And that means we want to really big them up. Before hashtags took over the world, before Black Lives Matter, before COVID-19, before any other corporate brand got behind How She Hustles, CIBC was there. They became our first corporate partner in 2018, and we're so thrilled they've stuck with us. Here's a message from them to you.
Happy Small Business Month. This has been a challenging year for everyone, especially entrepreneurs like yourself. Our CIBC poll suggests 4 out of 5 business owners in Canada have experienced a negative impact due to COVID-19. Despite this, many entrepreneurs have shown a great deal of resiliency and an ability to pivot in a rapidly changing environment. To assist entrepreneurs and professionals at this time, CIBC leaders like Hedy have been working to implement programs and supports to help our clients achieve their ambitions.
We've expanded our specialized advisory team in support of business owners to sustain and scale their businesses throughout the pandemic and beyond. We continue to invest in economic inclusion to promote entrepreneurship for Canadians of all backgrounds and identities. Most recently, we've become the founding partner of the government's Black Entrepreneurship Loan Fund, a program designed to assist thousands of Black-owned businesses. And for the second year in a row, we are proud to be the sponsors of the Startup and Slay series to help create a more inclusive environment in the small business communities. CIBC has been a proud sponsor of How She Hustles since 2018, and we are happy and excited to once again help amplify the voices of diverse women and non-binary entrepreneurs in our communities across the country. Congratulations to the 2020 Startup and Slay finalists. We can't wait to hear from you over the next few weeks. And when October comes to an end, we will still have more in store for you with what you need to know to grow webinar, which will be available to the How She Hustles community. Hope to see you all there.
Okay, I'm going to keep it loose tonight. So this is how we do it. I can see Rachel Lee in the green room nearly choked on her drinks. Look, man, it is not easy as an entrepreneur to get one of Canada's biggest financial institutions on side. Okay, so if I give CIBC a shout out, it is well deserved. Thank you for your support. There are business advisors from the bank that are in the chats, so if you need to connect with someone, they can drop their email address in the chat so you know that they're there. Mark the date, November 12th, and we will keep you updated on what's to come, how to log on, where to register, all of that good stuff. All right, so here's my favorite part of the night. Enough of me talking. I want to hear from you. Who's on the line, folks? There are over 100 people on this live right now. So first question, where are you logging on from? Drop it in the comments. We want to know, is everybody from the GTA? Is there anybody who's logging on from, oh, hold up. I see. Okay, here we go. All right, so if I pull this in right now, here we go. Who we got on the line? Bam. Excited to be watching with all of you. Hi from Halifax. Hey, Saf, how are you? Saf is one of our alum from last year. Hey, Saf, great to have you on. All right, we got somebody else logging on. Let's see. Alejandra from Calgary, how are you? Greetings. Okay, thank you so much for hopping on. Hey. All right, who we got here? Nelson Mandela Public School. Okay, Danielle. Hey, Danielle, greetings to you. Who else we got here? Melanie from Windsor. All right, yes, used to be a party town during university time. Love it. Okay, keep that coming through. We want to know who's on the feed. We love to see all of these comments. Let's see who else we got over here. Anybody else? Oh, Scarborough. All right, so anyway, we can keep going with this, but we got to make sure that we move on to our next question. So thank you very much. Next question we've got is, what's your business? And what is your product or service? Like, this is commercial time, y'all. Like, you don't know who's on this feed. We have over 100 people here. We've even got Marcy in BC over here. Shout out to Marcy. I see you there. But definitely let us know, what is the name of your business? What do you do? What do you sell? What do you offer? Drop that in the comments. It's wonderful to get a sense of the type of businesses that are interested in Startup and Slay. So our team will be keeping an eye on that. And remember, there's a replay. So, come correct in your comments because people are going to see this afterward. Okay? Yeah. Okay. So definitely, while you're dropping that down, we want to see, who's on the line, what your business is. Let's see a couple more we got over here. Hold on, I'm just gonna, before we get to those, let's see who else is on the line here. We got somebody repping all the way from BC. Thank you, Marcy, I saw that. Who else? Toronto, boom. It's all kinds of people here. Fantastic. Okay, we're gonna come back to this, but definitely make sure you drop your business. Who we got here? She's for Sports, love it, is a platform that amplifies the voices of women and diverse people in sport via digital content and events. Hello, Ayinka. Thank you. Huge supporter. Who else do we have here? Tanya Walker. Thank you so much. Tanya Walker, incredible lawyer, spoke at the very first Startup and Slay 2 years ago when we only did events. Greetings to you, Tanya. Who else we got over here? Jules Coco, sweet treats, custom baked goods. Okay, so this is the kind of stuff that we want to see. Continue to drop your comments here so everybody can learn about what you do. Fantastic. All right, so we're going to move on because we have some other questions we want to cover. Next one. What aspect of business do you want to learn more about? We want to learn about business. We want to learn what matters to you. So make sure you drop that in the comments. Please do, because we want to see what matters to you. And then So we'll wait. We'll see some comments. I know they're going to come on in. This is great. This is virtual networking at its finest. This is how we do this, right? But let us know, because we've got 3 more weeks, after this for Startup and Slay, and so we want to make sure we cover this. And the last question is, let's just get this going. What is one app or tool you use every day for your business? So we'll let that keep going. And you can comment as you wish. We're going to move on, but I just wanted to get those questions going so everybody can be talking. All right. Thank you for letting us know, Chennai. You want to learn about scaling and digital marketing. Fantastic. Sheezer Sports, you want to learn about different revenue streams. I love it. Okay, so we'll keep going with that. But now it's time to get moving onto our first interview. I am so excited to welcome our very first speaker, Rachel Lee Rickards. All right, Rachel Lee, I think this is your first time with us with How She Hustles. Super excited. We're going to tell you just a little bit about Rachel Lee. So Rachel Lee, she has a company called Real Talk Candles, candles with witty words for your everyday woman. She keeps it real. She founded her business earlier this year, just a few months ago in April, right here in Toronto. And already she's got staff, an office, media coverage, US customers, and some celebrity endorsements. We have lots to cover. Rachel Lee, welcome.
Hey. So happy to be here. I'm very happy.
Right? I'm all like this, and she's like, I'm zen with my candles, thank you.
Yeah, it's getting warm in here. Keeping it
real. Yeah. Please do not burn your hair. We are not trying to have the fire crew come during a How She Hustles online event. All right. Well, we have so much that we could talk to you about tonight. And the first thing we want to ask you is really just tell us a little bit about when and why you started Real Talk Candles.
So I didn't think that this was going to be a business at all. Friends would ask me, like, why candles? Like, why candles? Because I come from a background in the performing arts, producing, and what had actually happened was I like to, since over the past couple of days, it's come to me, I like to call it the empowered punch. I was actually, unfortunately, assaulted in the street by a complete stranger, and I got punched right in the face. No reason, but I got punched right in the face, and it caused a concussion. And I was working with a builder at the time as an event producer. And, especially being a Black woman, it's ingrained in us to be strong Black women, right? So I thought, no problem, I got this. I took a week off. I had some black eyes. And then I went back to work. And I thought, everything's good. Until I had to produce an event for a condo launch. And then all these people were around me. And then I started to get really nervous. And then I stopped going outside. And I stopped producing events and going on stage. And it got really bad. So just the things I used to love, I no longer love, like going to the theater, going to the mall, going to the grocery store, and I was closed in. Then I said to myself, you know what you really loved? You used to love working with your hands. I used to be I was a gangster bedazzler. Got it. I bedazzled everything when I was younger. And so I thought, maybe something to help with the anxiety. And I started to get PTSD. I said, you know what, let me go take a class in the distillery. And so I went to Yummy Candles, and I thought there was like 6 people. And if I go, I can leave real quick. And so I did the course, and then it got me more interested. I dove into YouTube. Again, still no thought of a business. Just started making candles, passing them out to neighbors. I didn't know how to make candles or what I was doing, but I just kept doing it. And so then I said, I'm naturally a storyteller. So I went and I opened an Instagram, started telling people, hey, this crazy girl's gonna be doing some candles. Maybe you want one, I don't know, maybe. And I put it up. April 20th, 2020. I sat at my computer and I was like, oh, this is going to be funny. Let's see what doesn't happen. And then I just heard ding, 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 ding. Like, really?
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it started. I went from an Instagram, I threw up a simple website, and I ran out of room in my house.
That's an incredible story. So what started as a really unexpected traumatic experience, you turned that trauma into ultimately a transformation that ultimately led to a business. Well, thank you for sharing something so personal, and obviously something that was really difficult, but clearly you've come out of it, and in such a short period of time, you have now built this business. So you alluded to one of your steps, which was, I started on Instagram, and you just got started, but let's talk a little bit about the steps. So what were the 3 critical steps to getting you going? So Instagram was one. What else did you do?
Well, I think it's also about making sure that you have some key things, right? Like making sure that you just start the thing. You have to just start the thing and take risks on that. But so I did Instagram. I then reached out to like friends and asked them if they could, hey, you want a candle? You want to get do maybe buy a candle?
Yeah.
And then I did research. I knew nothing about candles or the candle community. I knew nothing. So I dove into YouTube and I watched videos over and over and over and over again. Then I found a Facebook group that had like 31,000 candle makers, and I learned from them. And then I just made sure that I absorbed what worked for them. What can I do that they can't? Mm-hmm. And I just dove. I just made my priorities different. When people were watching 90 Day Fiancé, I was on YouTube.
So the moral of the story is, if you're going to go on YouTube, go on for the right reasons. And if that means you need to learn about your business, do your research.
Absolutely.
Got it. Okay. Don't hate on 90 Day Fiancé, but I totally hear you. Okay. So you went through this experience. You didn't plan on having a business. You took some steps. You started doing some research. You joined some groups. You started on social media. Then things must have started to kind of pick up. How did you know that this is actually a viable business? Like, this isn't just a hobby where, as you say, I can sell to friends and family. What was that tipping point for you?
It was the fact that it was so needed for real conversations. Like I had done a Facebook, I hadn't mentioned that either. I did a Facebook talk show for 2 years on Facebook called Real Talk with Rachel Lee. And I see that people were thirsty for just real conversations. And, you know, there's a saying, well-behaved women don't make history. And I just knew once a couple candles were sold, my first candle was the anxiety candle. And I took those risks and it came back to me. Women relate to me. And I take that time to relate to my customers, which is a big thing, by the way. Mm-hmm. And it just started to flow. I've never had to do an Instagram ad, never had to do a social media ad. I take time, I build relationships, and my followers, I call them the Candle Fam, they do it for me. They do it for me. So I think if you stay really real and you take that time, I saw it growing. Yeah. I saw this like movement happening. Yeah. Because, you know, I will, yeah.
So the Candle Fam, well, hopefully you're going to have a much larger Candle Fam after tonight. We just dropped your website there, realtalkcandles.com. But I love that, you know, that if you're authentic with your brand and you're really engaged with your audience, you may never have to pay a dime in advertising, at least at this stage, because people become essentially your advertisers. Love that. Okay. Tell me about one of your favorite startup stories. You know, a lot has probably happened in such a short period of time. Give us an example of something cool that's happened and what you learned from it.
Well, this was more of like a tender yet learning experience. So when I had first put up the website, I didn't, so there's certain things you have to like hide your products before it goes live. And my customers know every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I relaunch all of my products. So automatically there's people waiting for these candles, right? So when I first launched, I didn't know much, and I saw that it hadn't been hidden. I didn't even put the price up yet. And someone, her name is Joy, she purchased my candle. Don't know how she got it, but she got it. And really quickly, these sales are coming in. But what I feel was wonderful is a lot of women, I have a large following, particularly in the Black audience, females, they all wanted me to win. You know, we want you. When I first did my candles, I didn't even have the fragrance label on the back, right? People would be like, Rachel, we really love it, but we don't know what scent it is. And I'd just be like, just look at your invoice. I had no label on the back. And so I got a phone call from Joy, and she said, you know, she's Jamaican, you know what, Rachel, I really think what you're doing is a really great thing, you know, but I think you need some feedback. So I said, you know, I'd be happy. She said, my label is crooked.
Gotta always hand it to Jamaican women to just tell you exactly what you need to hear. Yeah.
And so she told me that my label was crooked, but it was such a great learning experience. A, to take feedback. B, to understand that there's a certain level that you need to put out there, right? Yeah. And C, it's okay to let your customers know I made a mistake.
Hey, can somebody please tweet that out? Anybody on the feed, it is okay to get feedback, and it is okay to let your customers know you've made a mistake. Love that. Hashtag Startup and Slay. Love that. Thank you.
Yeah. Then she's become a regular customer.
Wow.
Like large orders. You know, it's how you approach your customers.
So Miss Joy is a customer for life. Well, thank you, Miss Joy. I've never met you, but if you're watching and you have feedback for this feed, we'll take it too. Love that. Okay, we have a few more minutes with you. I have some more questions for you, and one of them is, how did you know who your customers were? Like, how did you kind of identify your tribe?
With everything I've done, my customer has always been me. And my avatar is me, and quirky, not polite, when I say not polite, dry sense of humor. They want something different, and they're not perfect, just like me, not perfect. And I just realized that, and I've taken courses before, it's like, you want to sell a product, sell something that you would like. Yeah. And so my candles aren't for everyone. And I see that, you know, it's not for, there's tons, millions of candles out there. Mine's a real talk candle, and mine starts conversations, and sometimes you like them, sometimes you don't, but they're always real.
Wow. Okay. She keep keeping it real. While we're on the topic of keeping it real, I'd love to show a couple of your candles. I mean, you've got a bunch behind you, but there's some specific ones. My awesome team has your Black Lives Matter candles and also some candles related to COVID-19. Tell me about the process of creating these candles. Like, how do you know what your customer needs? Because for some people, you know, it might be like how do you know somebody needs a 2020 is canceled candle? Is it market research, feedback, or you just go with your gut?
Funny enough, the Black Lives Matter candle and the I Can't Breathe candle were not even supposed to be candles that were going to be sold. So just like on my page, I tell stories and I share my feelings. And when that I Can't Breathe was all everywhere, I was exhausted. I woke up that morning, I even chills now. I was exhausted. And so sometimes I just use my voice and I'll sometimes say, this candle isn't for sale. Although proceeds went to an organization for Black boys in technology. But Same with 2020 canceled. I was like, man, 2020 is canceled. On. And women related, and Black Lives Matter as well. A lot of my candles just come from my heart, the conversations I have with women, the inboxes I get sometimes. I get customized candles as well. A lot of people are like, man, can you just make this candle? And if I'm getting that request, then I know my audience needs it too.
Yeah. And I also like that, I saw your recent candle with the pink one with the different boobs. And I love that you kind of post the candles and ask your audience, is this something you'd buy? So again, along that whole theme of audience engagement. We have so much we can continue to talk about, but I have one last question before we have a chance to chat with Sasha. And of course, if other people have questions, Rachel Lee isn't going anywhere. She's going to be here for the full hour. So stay tuned. But my last question is this. COVID-19 has changed so many things in our world. If you had to describe how COVID-19 has impacted your business, what's the word or phrase you would use to finish this sentence? Because of COVID-19, my business is
flourishing.
Good for you.
Fortunate, like it sound, but it's also our no words candle. Is our grief candle. And because of that, sales have gone up with that. And I wish sales were down on that candle, but it's a beautiful thing to be able to connect with people. And they see my candle as a way to celebrate someone who's passed on or somebody that's lost a job. And so it's a feel-good candle for me. Wish it wasn't. But it's such an important candle. And I think COVID has allowed me to connect with people and to be a part of really tender moments in their lives. And and the women continue to buy. I mean, it's candle season, man. So everybody loves a candle, it's soothing. It brings peace, even in like some religious beliefs, practices, candles unite. So hopefully I can continue to be a part of that light.
Well, thank you for helping to light up our lives tonight with a little bit of insight, a little bit of your story. It was really lovely. And the vibe of the candles behind you, like I feel like I wish I was at your office. Okay, we will see you in a little bit. Thank you, Rachel Lee. Keep those questions coming in. We're going to show a short little video that tells you a little bit about our startup story, about how she hustles. For those of you who have never met us, never been to one of the events, if you're in different parts of the country, here's a little bit about how she hustles. As soon as this video is done, we'll be back with Sasha Senior.
For those of you who aren't familiar with How She Hustles, it's a little network that grew and continues to grow. We connect diverse women through social media and events like this, and we've been doing so for 10 years. How She Hustles was created in 2010, basically by accident. I was up one night juggling my day job, family commitments, volunteering in the community, and I was like, man, I am always hustling. There must be other people who can relate to my experience at 4 a.m. trying to finish this project. So I posted a message on Facebook. And of course, all the other hustlers responded immediately and said, I'm up too. This is what I'm working on. So I said, well, why don't we meet? Maybe there's something that I can help you with. You can help me with something. And we can create a little bit of a fellowship around us. single event we hosted and sold out was because of the support of women like you, because of the creativity of women like you, and because there were women of all backgrounds who said, I want a space where I feel welcome, where I feel reflected, and where I don't feel like I am one of the only or the only one. So we're going to keep doing this, and there is more to come.
Thank you. Love that video. Thank you so much for everybody who contributed. So I now consider you part of the How She Hustles family. And you now have our part, hopefully, of our next 10-year video. At this time, we are excited to welcome our second speaker, Sasha Senior. Bliss Skateboard Shop is her company. We're super thrilled to have Sasha on, especially since she was on breakfast television at like 7 a.m. this morning. Sasha's company is based in Windsor, Ontario, and founded just a few months ago in March of this year. Sasha sells skateboards and accessories. She runs the only local shop in her city, and she is what some would call maybe a unicorn, a black unicorn, one of the few black women owners in the skateboard shop and accessories industry. Y'all give a big How She Hustles shout out via our computers and mobile devices to Sasha Senior. Hey, Sasha, how are you?
I'm doing good. I never thought of myself as a unicorn before.
Well, there you go. There you go. We're super thrilled to have you here tonight. First time we're connecting through this project. Amazing how we've been able to highlight and find incredible entrepreneurs like you across the country. So thank you. I want to start by asking you a little bit about your founder story. When you knew that it was time to start your own business, and tell us a little bit about how you got started.
So I was at a skateboard competition last September, and I did a really cool trick on this manual pad. And the host of the skateboard competition said, "Hey, we saw what you just did," and they gave me a $25 gift certificate to a skate shop in Michigan. Never been there, so I went there, and I'm just talking to the owner, and I talked to him for about 45 minutes. And I was asking him, how much does it cost to run a shop? And he's telling me all these numbers and stuff. And he's like, "Yeah, does Windsor have a skate shop?" I said, "No, Windsor actually doesn't have a skate shop." And he said, "Yeah, you can do it. It's really, really easy." So I started looking for places. Probably about a week later, I found this spot. I was at work when I was on my lunch break, and this location popped up, and I jumped at it. I messaged people right away, went there right after work, and when I walked out, I looked, after speaking to the owners of this spot, I walked out and I looked across the street at the building, and I said, "Sasha, you can drive by here every single day," because I pass the shop when I go home. "So you can drive by here every single day saying, I could have had a skateboard shop there, or you can drive by and say, that's my skateboard shop." So I said, "All right, I'm doing this. I'm doing this."
No regrets, zero regrets, right?
No regrets.
You know what? Let's just go back, because I want to make sure that people don't miss that. So you said you were at your day job and you saw this spot. So let's just clarify. Bliss Skateboard Shop is your side hustle, correct?
Yes.
Can you tell people what you do for your day job?
I'm a human resource administrator for the Canadian Armed Forces. So I work in the office. I push a lot of papers, but it's a very important job to do, though. So,
incredible. Well, thank you for that work. And I think that's an important point, because people need to understand that it is possible to have a day job and a side hustle that is profitable, and to do it both. Any tips on how to do so successfully, to be a successful side hustle entrepreneur?
Definitely have a source of some type of source of income, whether it's a savings or a grant, any kind of source of income to help you start it. Is something very, very important to have. Also, being able to ask people for help. Like, you have to be able to delegate, because you won't be able to do it by yourself, especially if you have another job already, because that job's supposed to be your main job, right? So you got to focus on that, and you still got to focus on your side business, but you have to be able to allow people to help you out. And staying positive, especially during a time like this. It's been tough, but you got to stay positive and remember why you started your business. That's a very big thing. That should be the fuel to help you keep going and help you get over those hurdles. Your passion for why you started your business.
And you're obviously passionate about it because you've been skateboarding since you were 13, I believe.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Some people are saying they're getting a lot of feedback. I'm not quite sure why we're getting a lot of feedback here, but we're doing a live show. So if there's anything that my tech team can do to reduce the feedback, let us know. Otherwise, we'll proceed. Thank you for letting us know. I appreciate that, Tiffany Claire. All right, so this is your side hustle. You've got your day job. You found this location. What advice do you have on how to identify a great location for your business?
How do I identify what?
A great location for your business. Like, how do you know this is the spot?
Oh, because Windsor has a lot of little pockets of businesses, and this sandwich town is definitely one of those pockets. We're close to the university, close to the skateboard park. So when I had the opportunity to get this location, I jumped at it right away. So the location is important. It's going to depend on what you're selling and what the foot traffic's like, if you need foot traffic or not. So you have to kind of look at your business and see what your product is and what the best area would be for that, and who your customer base is. So like I said, we're in the university area. I have a lot of younger students coming in. So yeah.
Got it. Okay, so look at your foot traffic, look at location, and I'm sure since you've got a day job, it's got to be close to the office as well. All right. So you gave us some tips already. We had a slide. We were going to ask you about 3 startup tips, but I think you've already given us quite a few. So we're going to move right along to one of my favorite questions, which is, what's one of your favorite startup stories? Is there something that's happened that was a great experience, and what did you learn from it?
The best story was our opening day. And I was really excited because someone had messaged me online asking if they need masks to come into the store. And I was like, well, if you have one, that's great. But if you don't, it's okay. So they came in and then they bought a board, and that was my first sale. I gave them a t-shirt for the shop. And as soon as they left, a delivery guy came in and he dropped off a bamboo money plant that I had gotten from my coworkers. And it was awesome because it was a money plant that just walked in the door. So it was like money's coming into the shop as money literally just came into the shop because I made my first sale. So I'll never forget that. That's probably the best story so far anyways. Yeah,
you got to look for those little signs to encourage you along the way, I'm sure.
Yes.
Okay, I've got to ask you, of course, to complete the sentence just like Rachel did. Because of COVID-19, my business is. If you had to use a word or a phrase to complete that sentence, what would you say?
I'd say my business is evolving because I didn't think that it would get to the level that it's gotten to. And then just also because I've been learning so much so quickly because I had to adapt and overcome due to the pandemic. So because of COVID-19, the business has been evolving, and it's allowed me to evolve too to higher levels. So yeah.
Love it. Okay, well, we are going to open up the lines to questions in the next little bit. We've got a quick sponsor message, and Sasha, maybe we'll see if we can get your mic just sorted out just a little bit. But if you've got questions for Sasha, this is going to be or for Rachel Lee. We're just going to have a super quick video from our awesome partner, Rogers Sports and Media, and then it's time for questions. So if you've got them, this is the time to drop them in. Here we go.
I'm Sharon Hines, and I'm the new lead for Rogers Sports and Media's Inclusion and Diversity Plan. We're so proud to be the exclusive media sponsor for Startup and Slay. The power of a platform like this digital series for BIPOC equity-seeking communities amplifies BIPOC business voices. How She Hustles has given businesses owned by diverse women and non-binary entrepreneurs a space to network and further their business skill set. As a national media company, Rogers Sports and Media recognizes its role and responsibility in amplifying voices that have not always been heard with equal measure. As part of our all-in plan, we're giving away $10 million over the next 5 years in free advertising and creative services to charities and small businesses that support equity-seeking communities. We are so keen to work with Emily Mills and the How She Hustles team as our inaugural company.
Thank you so much. Okay, so lots of questions, lots of comments too. People just saying that this has been a really interesting conversation. A lot of people interested in trying skateboarding, new candle customers. This has been fantastic. So it's our chance now to ask some questions of our entrepreneurs. So Sasha and Rachel Lee, thank you so much for coming back and joining us. And I want to kick off our Q&A section. Rachel Lee, we just want to make sure that you are not muted. And my first question is actually for you. My question is, how did you finance your startup? Where did you get the money from to get started?
Well, lucky enough, I would have to. Is that me?
Yeah, go ahead. I can hear you.
Okay. I'm hearing a feedback. Okay. So transparently, I was lucky enough to have a little bit of seed money in my bank account. I think there was a part of me prior to leaving that job. There was a part of me was like, you better save all you have, sister, because stuff's not looking good. So just some savings, and I didn't have a lot. I didn't have a lot of money. Don't believe cyber glitter is what I like to say. Is just because y'all see candles in the background and you see there's a lot you have to put in, right? So I started small. My first candles was from like Michael's craft store, and it's not like the kind of wax that I use now, not a high quality wax. I didn't know how to make candles, so I just said, let me start small. Let me work within my means, right? Like if I had a job, I'd probably say, keep the job. But keep the job. But I didn't. I was on a break, but I took that time. So I guess, I was kind of still working a job. So I just took what I had. I lived within my means, right? And I think that's realistic.
I really like that. So don't believe cyber glitter. I don't know if I've heard it that way, but I love that. And live within your means. So you can start small. You don't need a fortune to start a business. Love that. I'm going to ask my team just to drop. There's a link there. We do have an article on our website, howshehustles.com, that is actually about how to finance your business. It has input from CIBC, and we would love for you to check it out. You can read that at any point in time and get some insights on how to finance your business. Next, we've got Sasha. I think you talked a little bit about having your day job and making sure that you had some funds from there. Is there anything else you want to add on how to finance your small business?
I guess maybe like sell any unnecessary things that you really that you can let go of.
Yeah.
So I had a car that that ended up helping to fund the business. So that was about $2,500 that I was able to use to start to buy products. And I actually bought a lot of products before I had the storefront done. So yeah, anything that you really don't need, if you're trying to start a business and you really don't need to hold on to something, any little change is going to help, So yeah, anything that you don't need, I'd say try to sell it, make that money, save the money, and then invest it into your business, into your own company.
AKA go through your closet, get rid of those extra things you don't need. Yeah, I love that. Okay, I've got questions for you here. What do we got here? Question for Rachel Lee from Francesca. What advice would you give to other startups with a positive message? Interesting. Not everything has to be negative to sell.
What advice would you give to other startups? Start.
Yeah.
Stop listening to this in your head that I can't do it. You can't really do it. It's not realistic. Or the folks, if you ever notice, the folks that have the most advice have never taken a risk. So Yeah, believe in yourself, and no idea is a bad idea or a silly idea. Do you take the risk?
Okay, love that. That was really important. Be careful who you listen to. That's what I'm taking away from that. Thank you very much. Okay, we have another question. Let's go on down right here. Let's see, who do we got? Question. Oh, we got another. We got lots of questions for Rachel Lee. Okay, hold on. But this one is for Sasha, actually. What advice do you have for young women interested in starting a business? Is there something different that you would say to them?
Yeah, be confident, and don't worry about the fact that you're a woman, especially with skateboarding, because right now we've never been the dominant factor in skateboarding. And for me, I didn't look at it like, oh, I'm a woman starting a skate shop. I said, I'm a skateboarder starting a skate shop. That's it. That's how I looked at it. So don't let being a woman discourage you from starting your business. And like Rachel said, take that risk. If I never took this risk, I wouldn't be in the position that I am now.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So be aware of your identity, but don't let it limit you.
Yes.
Yeah, entrepreneurs first. I absolutely am with that. All right. I have another question for Rachel Lee. This one is, as you can see there, from a name I can't pronounce, Nuju78. How do we as a community empower BIPOC, Black, Indigenous people of color, more, especially those who come from disadvantaged communities? Is there something that we can do to support more of BIPOC businesses and empower them?
Well, I think as a business owner, it's my personal responsibility to continue to hire and use other businesses, people of color, very, very important, unapologetically do so. It's part of my mantra. I need to make space for people that don't have space. And so the goal of Real Talk Candles is to continue to hire women and women of color. We do have a woman who is not a woman of color on board with us, but y'all got to be conscious and woke if you work here.
Keep it woke. Otherwise, you'll get it.
Gotta be woke. Gotta be woke. And I just think it's really important. Youth, like future plans, big goals, is to have a space where I can bring in young people of color to learn the business, from production to creativity. I just think it's important to leave doors open and to be present on social media. Yes, I'm a woman. Yes, I'm a Black woman. Yes, I'm a plus size woman. And I'm here.
Yep. All of your identities. You're bringing it all. Keeping it real. I know you. All right. One more question here. This is for Sasha. How do you feel knowing that you've opened the hobby of skateboarding to so many?
I love it. I love it's crazy because when I build a new board for somebody, I'm excited for them to ride this. And I tell them as I'm building this, I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to ride this and just try it. Have fun. Like it's awesome because 80% of the customers that come in are like, I wanted to get into skateboarding and I heard you guys are open. So it makes me feel good that I actually am able to provide that service to the community. And I'm looking forward to next summer because hopefully we can do classes for anyone who wants to start learning how to skateboard. So it's awesome. I've never built a board and said and didn't have that passionate feeling about, building one and giving it to somebody else.
Yeah, well, I think we've actually got a couple pictures of you at work and some of the boards that you've built. So we'll see if we can pull that up here. So this is you in your shop in Windsor.
Yep.
Yeah, Blitzscape. Okay, so I see your shop there. I see you're working away. And if people go on to your website, they can see you skating, see you on your board, see you at a couple of skate parks. That's amazing. Love the video of you skipping. So that's a nice plug of telling people to go to your website to check out more content. All right, I have a question for both of you, which has to do with how you identify great employees. What advice might you have on how to know who to hire? I know Rachel Lee already said you have to be woke, but as the business is growing, that's a really critical piece. How you grow your team and know what you're looking for in terms of employees or contractors. Any advice, Rachel Lee?
Cultural fit. I can teach you how to do the candles. I can teach you my strengths. You could be so smart, put together, you know your stuff. But if you're not a cultural fit, meaning you can't vibe with this environment and my sense of humor, and then you can't come. You're not invited. But and I definitely want employees that think long-term, big picture, right? Do you want to grow with me? Not only that, but honesty. If you don't want to grow with me, but you want to be here for a bit, but you have other goals, I'm going to make sure you reach your goals and understand you're here for a season. But really, really important that we get along.
Totally. Okay. Sasha, anything to add around employees?
I agree with the vibe. It's difficult trying to find the right person to work for you that's going to put in as much effort as, I wouldn't say as much effort as you would, but it's going to be as passionate or take the time to actually work and help you build the business and not just be there to get money. You know, it makes a difference, especially with skateboarding. A lot of times I'll even get asked the question, hey, do you skate? Yeah, of course I skate. I own the shop, but there are skate shops where people don't skate and they own the shop. So you want to have someone who's actually in the culture and understands what's going on, and someone that you can vibe with, you know? So yeah, those are very important things. I want someone who's going to be here not just for the check, but also to support me and help me grow, and then also help themselves grow and move forward as well.
For the culture. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay. We are getting, I know there's so many questions that are great ones. Okay. I'm going to take a few more, to literally one more from the feed and then one more that I got on Instagram earlier. And then we are going to let you know what's happening next. So here we go. Last question from the feed. Love it. From Nicolette Bryan. What motivates you to keep grinding every day? Rachel Lee?
Because I love what I do. And every time I would do a 9 to 5, I would get fired or quit because I didn't fit in. By the way, being fired is a celebration, not something. I swear, if you don't get fired, you'll stay in the job that you don't like and you'll never do the job that you love, the career that you love. So I love it. I love getting up. On Mondays, we dance in the office, and on Fridays, we dance in the office again. And I mean, I love what I do. That's what gets me out of bed.
Love that. Okay, so you got to keep that passion and that fire. Sasha, what keeps you grinding and hustling?
Yes, it's the passion of skateboarding. And when I stand in the middle of the shop, I look around and I'm like, I own a skateboard shop. Like, this is insane because I never thought about that before. And then when I wasn't working with my other job as much, I was here all the time, all day long. And when I was building everything here, I was here all day long, but I didn't feel like I was working. I was just at the shop. I was just doing stuff. It doesn't feel like work because it's my passion. You know, it doesn't matter how many hours I put in here because I love what I do. And that's what keeps me going.
Yeah, love that. Okay. There was a question that had come in on the Instagram feed earlier on, and it was, if you could go back to the beginning of your career, knowing what you know now, is there anything you'd do differently for your business?
Such a good question.
You
know, I read that question and I thought about it, and I wouldn't do anything differently. Ask me in maybe like 2 years, maybe I would do something differently. But as of right now, no, because even my downfalls or my setbacks haven't even been setbacks. They've just been lessons. I see it as, okay, let me just fix that. But I wouldn't say I wish that never happened, you know? So as of right now, I can't say I would do anything differently. It's all been working really well. It's all been a learning experience.
I totally agree with you. I think if I'd gone back and tried to align it, it would have been thought out too much. And the beauty of the fact that I'm stumbling into this thing and I'm creating as I go, I just don't think it would have been as organically beautiful. I had to change anything.
That sounds so poetic. Love it. Stumbling into your success, but it is all organically happening and absolutely meant. We are so thrilled that you spent some time with us tonight. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let me tell everybody what is happening next. It's been great to talk to Sasha and Rachel Lee tonight. I believe they're going to be online. They're all up in their socials, so lots of questions. So hopefully they'll be able to join you and comment. But we want to also give you a heads up on who we have joining us next week. Here's a promo for week 2 of Startup and Slay. Love it. So that is next week's Startup and Slay next Wednesday. We've got Christine Yee from House of Yee Fine Foods in Vancouver and Giovanna Serauto from Remarkable in Calgary. It's all about scaling up a food business. But even if you're not a foodie, it's really going to be an interesting conversation about how to take that idea, that product from your house and get it into these big distribution chains like stores. So hopefully you will join us next week. We'll show you very quickly the calendar of what else is coming up. Scaling up a food business, as I said, is next Wednesday. After that, we've got making business more accessible. Of course, as we're all online, accessibility is going to be key. We've got Sage from Deaf Spectrum and Accessibrand, as well as Jolene McDonald, from Accessibrand. And the week after that, Entrepreneurship and Indigenous Allyship. Garden Health is a company run by Deanna Henry and Diana Frost from Coloring It Forward. So 2 great conversations. Make sure you don't miss it. I want to give a super big shout out to so many people, including our accessible stream today. Our ASL interpreter has been very, very busy tonight, ensuring that we have many people able to tune in and participate in this conversation in different ways. So while you're seeing this stream, just wanted to shout that out, that there is another one, and we'll keep that going every week. Also, of course, we're not just about events. There is stuff that you could do for your own business throughout the week. So let's just show you a few of the things that you can look forward to from our sponsors. So on November 12th, CIBC will be hosting a webinar. You know it's all going to be about financial literacy, financial wellness. Stay tuned for details. We'll be sharing it with you very soon. Visit cibc.com/business so you can connect with business advisors if you want to take your conversation offline, and they've got a ton of resources. Rogers Sports and Media, as you heard in that awesome video by Sharon Hines, congratulations on your new role. Thank you, Rogers. How She Hustles and Startup and Slay have been getting radio promotion, digital promotion, all kinds of stuff. You can have this too. Go and apply for your chance for your business or charity to shine. Go to allinforequity.ca. Shopify, if you're thinking of opening up your own e-store and getting online, please make sure you go and check out. We've got a special offer, a whole microsite and resources that are free. Shopify.com/howshehustles. And of course, you can go to our website to learn more. We've got an article every single week that goes with this chat. So it's not just chat. We've specifically asked our incredible writer, Ishani Nath, to write an article that has practical steps every week that goes with whatever the theme is. So we have an article you can go and check out called 7 Tips for Financing Your Startup at howshehustles.com. If you click on the tab for this week's show, you can read the article. Last but not least, before you go, we got to make sure that we shout out our team. Super big thanks, credits to everyone, 23 people. Please clap them. Please shout them out. They've been working so hard to make sure tonight is amazing. Thank you to the team. You can see who they are on our website. And look out in your email tomorrow. You'll have a post-event survey to give us your feedback. What would make the next Startup and Slay even better than tonight? If you had a good time, let us know. If you had a great time, please tweet us, use the hashtag Startup and Slay. We've had a great night. I want to thank you so much to our team, to our speakers, to our sponsors, to our selection committee, to our alumni, to all of you who logged on. Personal thanks to my family. I can't wait to see you next week for Startup and Slay. Make sure you join us, RSVP at howshehustles.com. Good night, everyone. Thank you.